fundamental message is that stars and galaxies are fundamentally not, just flaming gas balls and, collections thereof, but divine intelligences or distributed networks of intelligence that are fundamentally related to the teleology, the meaning and purpose of the universe itself. And so Rupert Sheldrake in his paper, Is the Sun Conscious, shows that the complexity of the sun's electromagnetic structures rival or exceed those of the human brain. And this fact is of special significance in light of the growing recognition of the role of electromagnetic fields in memory, cognition, and consciousness. This is from NASA research. They put out this video which basically shows that the sun is given lattice by the electromagnetic fields. And so physicist Greg Matloff says the behavior of stars in responding to their environment and cohesion of galaxies are possibly explained by the conscious volition of stars, weird as though it may sound. Eisenstein says their stars rotate around the galactic core too quickly to be held there by the gravitation of observable matter. Instead of recourse to dark matter or randomness, he proposes that this is the result of intentional locomotion, one of the primary characteristics of life. So is it time to get off the crazy train? Could the stars really be conscious? You're free to leave, but just know that you're making my watch time go down by a little bit, so think twice. So anyhow, we move beyond the stars to the idea of living galaxies, the dynamic, metastable electromagnetic structures of galaxies themselves, the higher order coherence that binds the cosmos. They weave the firmament together and seem to have fairly well-organized system of stars, galaxies. And so this led Nobel-winning physicist Hans Alfvén, who claims that electromagnetism, not gravity, is the primary structuring force in the universe, conspicuously similar to modern neuroscience, which finds that electricity is also the primary structuring force of the brain, which carries out terminal operations for the individual mind. So a teleologic electromagnetic universe allows for specified complexity, syntax-state relations, distributed cognition, and conscious intention, in other words, design. And this brings us to whole new perspectives about the nature of reality. Contrary to the beliefs of rigid and hardened astrophysicists, the space of cosmology and cosmological theories is as infinitely expansive as the universe itself. So what are the implications for cosmology of a living, electric, cognitive theoretic universe? They suggest the animist perspective that I began with, that we occupy a living universe. The sun, the earth, the forest, the human being are alive and sacred, not because of some extra thing they possess. They're sacred because of what they are. In the Bible Project series on spiritual beings, they discuss how when the biblical authors looked up at the stars, they too saw not flaming gas balls, but living spiritual beings called the sons of God, rulers and authorities, or the divine council. They're also called signs, which refers to something whose sublimity and grandeur points to the source of all sublimity and grandeur, God Almighty. They reveal their very existence reveals the intricate teleology and will of God in the creation of the physical universe. So in the Book of Kings, the divine council helped God decide how to bring down the king of Israel, who has lost the authority of heaven. Bible Project says they're like God's staff team. The God of the Bible wants to share authority with others. In the same way God shares his authority with human partners, he does with the heavenly host as well. And this points the way to a new concept I'll call distributed fine-tuning, or distributed teleology. That much like we make decisions for God or reality at the local level, the stars and galaxies do as well. The processes in reality and the adjusting of conditions for the proliferation of life and teleologic self-exploration is not only done at the global level of God, the global operator, descriptor of existence, or the local level of human, but also at the in-between level of the divine council of stars, galaxies, superclusters, etc., that existence actually has, and these galactic structures are occupying part of that, but existence actually has certain intrinsic aims built into it, which it's trying to achieve. And this teleology is built in not only to God, but distributed through God's universal distributed form, consistent with the multiplex unity principle in the CTMU. Atlas from Simulation, a YouTube channel I subscribe to and enjoy very much, recently published a video called Settle into the Feeling of Being Absolute, which touches on these topics and more while he's smoking a cigar talking to his friend, who's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? But so they discuss galaxies as decentralized networks. It fundamentally understands that it's working together and is aware of itself. And this is what we were talking about when we're discussing the apparent conscious volition of galaxies with respect to self-organization and emergence. The cosmos, as we know it, is filled with an infinite tapestry of potentiality. Chris Langan says reality actually has a goal, a teleological purpose that is determined by its structure. And basically, it is my job to fulfill, help reinforce reality's teleological impetus, which derives from its structure. And reality is doing this. It's creating this infinite expansive potential of life and consciousness, of living galaxies, solar systems, etc., and that most marvelous human being for the purpose of its self-identification, this is the telos of existence, the why, which stands beyond. And God, in this space of potential, which is called the non-terminal realm in the CTMU, is naturally identified with infinity, boundless, endless, larger than any terminal expression of itself by its very nature. All is created for the greater glory of God. And this is according to Gottfried Leibniz as well, the inventor of calculus and one of the greatest philosophers in history. So Stephen Hawking says the human race is just a chemical scum on a moderate-sized planet orbiting around a very average star in the outer suburb of one among 100 billion galaxies. And we in this video turn that on its head, change that to, wow, look at all these massive stars and enormous galaxies, all created for the greater glory of God. How great is it, my chance to exist in this masterpiece, to be a part of the meaning and purpose, the teleological exploration, the creative play of the divine absolute, this universe of infinity, an exciting universe, all for the greater glory of God. And this is the perspective we'll be taking for the rest of the CTMU Cosmology series. Lift up your eyes and see. Who created these? He who sends out their host by count, who calls them each by name. Because of his great might and vast power, not one fails to appear. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is God from of old, creator of the earth from end to end. He never grows faint or weary. His wisdom cannot be fathomed. The light shine forth in the darkness. May the peace of our Father in heaven be upon you. If I can subscribe. Peace.